Hello everybody, and welcome to our first official day of Stretch and Relax. This is going to be our first practice day, so dedicate about 30 to 40 minutes to practicing, and remember to complete the review questions on Canvas afterwards. I'm excited to get started. Just a couple key notes about today. Thank you all for submitting your introductions. A couple of you have some injuries and some things you're working on. So please remember to always listen to your body. This is your practice, so modify and adjust the postures however you need to make it feel good for your body. If there's ever any questions on how to modify something or any questions at all, feel free to give me an email. I'm happy to help. But really important to listen to your body. If something doesn't feel too good, don't force your body to do it. If it feels just a little bit tight and maybe you want to just work through that a little bit, that's okay. But we should never be feeling any kind of pain, no sharp shooting sensations, no tingling or numbness. We don't want any of that. We want this class to feel good, all right? So really listen to your body. And remember, this is a stretch and relax class, so do your best to try to avoid any distractions during this practice and really dedicate this time to you. This is your time. So if you wanted to put on some relaxing music in the background, that kind of helps maybe set the environment, set the vibe. Feel free to do that. Feel free to pause the video and maybe turn on some yoga or meditation music if you'd like. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So go ahead and roll out your mat. Meet me on the mat. We're going to start with some breathing exercises just to kind of set the intention, kind of bring ourselves into our body here. So finding a comfortable seat, whether that's how I was just sitting, cross-legged, legs could be out, legs could be wide, whatever's comfortable for you. You want to be able to get your spine nice and long, nice upright posture here. Imagine a string is coming out the top of your head and it's just pulling you up towards the sky, okay? Lengthening the spine here. Let's go ahead and close down the eyes. Remember, there's nowhere to be, nothing to do for the next 30 minutes or so, so just try to eliminate all the extra thoughts, keeping those eyes closed down. Try to soften the eyes. Notice if you have some tension in between your eyebrows. Try to relax that area there in between the brows. And just focusing on the breath. No need to change the breath. Just watching your inhales as they come into the body, through the nose, filling up your lungs. And watch that breath as it's released out of the lungs, coming back out of the nose. We're going to take 5 more just present breaths here, just watching your breath. Inhale and exhale. This time I want you to pick a color and put that color on your breath. So watch that color, maybe blue, pink, red, as it comes in through your nose. And exhale, watch that color as it gets released from the body. Good, we're going to take 3 more breaths. Inhale, pick a color. Exhale that color. Last 2 breaths. Maybe switch up the color. And exhale. Last one, nice big inhale. And exhale. Good, go ahead and gently open up your eyes here. Good, so we're gonna get started. Today's gonna be a little bit of a slow practice. We're gonna be seated the entire time. So we're gonna be really focusing on mobility, mainly some joint movements that you can incorporate into your daily life. It's really important to keep our joints healthy for us. A lot of the times We focus on strength or flexibility, and we forget about mobility. So mobility is the ability for your body to move in the full range of motion of that joint. So say the elbow joint, you're going to be able to move in full range of motion in the elbow joint. Same thing with the shoulder, being able to move in the full range of motion, all right? So that's what we're going to be working on today. Let's go ahead and just start with our hands. So what we're going to do is open nice and wide, stretch out your fingers, and bring it back in. So make a fist, all right? So we're going to do that 10 times, opening up, stretching those fingers, and bring it back in, okay? So let's do 8 more times. Open and close. Just keep it going, feeling into all 10 fingers here. And close. 5 more. 4, good. Last 3, 2, and 1 more, good, and release. Go ahead and bring those hands on the knees here, maybe shake them out a bit. We're gonna move to our next joint, which is our wrists. So we're just gonna do some nice and easy wrist circles here. So we're gonna do 10, one direction, and then we're gonna switch. So just start with your wrist circles here, maybe following along with my count. I'm on 5. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reverse those wrist circles, same thing. It's really important to keep our wrists nice and healthy. We might be on our phone a lot during the day or on the computer using a mouse and a keyboard. So our wrists get worked a lot. So just giving them some extra love today. Good, and release. We're gonna do some more wrist exercises. We're gonna be loading them with some pressure from the ground. So really modify the pressure however feels best to you. Don't force it. Ease up as much as you need to. So we're gonna be flipping our palms, our fingers face back towards you. Let's go ahead and come onto our knees. I'm gonna kind of show you from an angle here so you can see. So go ahead and bring those palms towards the ground as much as you can today. It's okay if they're lifting off a little bit. As much as you can today, you could lean forward to get them on the ground if you need to. And we're just gonna start going back with our hips just a bit, stretching out the front of our wrists there, okay? So just like that, and lean back. We're gonna do about 20 seconds, maybe moving in and out of the posture. Remember to use that breath. So just if you notice yourself with short and shallow breaths, try to elongate the breath. Good, just a few more here. About 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Good, release, kind of shake out the wrist. We're gonna have one wrist forward, or one hand facing forward and one reverse, just like we did. And now we're gonna do some loaded, so with pressure, wrist circles. So just start off with some little wrist circles here, moving your hips in a circle to get some circles into those wrist joints there. Okay, we're gonna do about 10, and then we'll reverse the direction, and then we'll reverse our hands. Good, and reverse the directions, keeping the hands placed where they're at, just moving the opposite direction. Good, just a few more here. Good, and release. Gently release. Now let's switch sides. So, opposite of what you just did, let's start with those circles. You might notice one side may be a little bit more tight than the other. For me, it's my right side because I'm right hand dominant. So I use my right hand quite a bit more than I use my left hand. So I notice a little bit of extra tightness in that right side. And reverse the direction. Good, just a few more. And release, good. Last one here for the wrist. We're gonna flip the back sides of our hands. We're gonna place them down there, okay? We're just gonna, let's show you from this side, place them flat on the ground, and then just start to put some pressure in to the wrists. Okay, just do about 20 seconds. Ease up as much as you need to. Long, deep breaths. Just getting those joints nice and healthy. Good, last few seconds here. And release. Go ahead and just kind of gently shake out the hands, not too aggressively, just a little shake. All right, we're gonna move on to our next joint, our elbow joint. So we're just gonna do some simple shoulder touches. So bring our palms facing up, right in front of the body here, and just tap your shoulder. We're gonna do 10. Nice and easy. Try to keep those elbows upright, so when they're bent, they should be pointing forward. Try not to have them down here, not too far up, just right in front of you there. Let's go for 10. That is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Gently release there. Maybe shrug it out, shrug those shoulders out. Another joint, another exercise for our elbow joint and our shoulders as well. The shoulders are involved in this movement as well. We're gonna bring our hands back up, tap those shoulders with our fingers, and we're gonna just bring our elbows close together, up and around, stretch it open, a big circle with those elbows, bringing them back together. All right, we're gonna do it 10 times, nice and big. Bring them back together. That's 3 and 4. Do as large of circles as you can today. Again, don't force anything. Just feeling into your own individual body. We all got these individual bodies, have had a whole different journey, each and every one of us, right? So take it nice and easy and be nice and grateful for your body. It does a lot for you every single day. It's always working for us every day. And gently release, bring those elbows back together. We're gonna do the opposite direction. Open and close, bring them back together. Open and close. Good, that's 2. Let's get 8 more. 3, 4, 5, 6, good, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good, and gently release, shrug it out. If that brings any kind of tension into your shoulders, it's definitely common. They're working a bit. If it's too much, feel free to skip that one. We don't want it to feel ever too much on the body. Maybe later in the semester, that'll feel better. But if it feels good, just keep it going. Alrighty, so we're gonna keep it going with the shoulder joints. We're gonna lay on our belly. We're gonna be prone on our belly, and we're gonna be doing arm circles. So let's come on down, arm circles. So flat on your belly. I'm gonna explain it first, and then I'm gonna demonstrate it. So your face is gonna be facing down towards your mat, and you're gonna have your arms up and over your head, and just bring them back and around. Palms come up when they meet the low part of your back here. All right, so let me demo. So chin could be down, hands on the back, on the small of the back here. Bring them out and around, all the way to the top of the mat, and back and around to the small of your back there, okay? So we're gonna do 10 total. That was 1, let's go for 9 more. Chin facing down, bring it back and around. Good, that's 2, let's keep it going. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, last 3, good, last 2, and last 1. Good, and release. Let's come on up. Good, so maybe that was a little bit challenging for you. Maybe it wasn't. It is a little bit of a workout, but it's really good to get that full range of motion in our shoulders. Last shoulder mobility exercise. We're gonna come on to our sit bones. Feet are gonna be out in front of us. So I'm gonna take off my socks just so I don't slip. Feet should be about hip width. We're gonna bring our hands behind our body here. So let's go ahead and face our fingers away from us. So the base of our palm is towards our body here, okay? Our hands should also be about shoulder width apart. We're gonna do a reverse tabletop. So we're gonna lift on up and try to create a straight line with our torso here as well as our legs. So if you see me from the side there, it should be about a straight line. You could let your head fall back if you'd like to release some of the tension and the work of the neck. Let's just hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. We're gonna do that one more time, okay? And remember, always listen to your body. If it doesn't feel good, you can skip this one. If you wanna come out of it early, you definitely can. All right, take an inhale, exhale, come on up. So breathe here. Let's keep it holding. So you should feel this work really in the whole body there. Let's go 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Good. Go ahead and shake out the arms, shrug out the shoulders. We're gonna keep it moving. So we're gonna go up to our neck now. Just try to release some tension and some pressure from our neck. So finding a nice comfortable seat. We're gonna start with some neck circles, or we're gonna do the circles rather with our nose. We're gonna create circles here. So making sure we have an upright posture, looking straight ahead, create some circles with that nose. So bring it up and around, bring it just pointing that nose just below you and towards the opposite side, back up towards the top. Let's do about 5, nice and slow. So trying to feel into each area of that circle. That's 2. Keep it going nice and slow. 3. 4. Good. One more this direction. Nice and slow. Take it slow. And 5. Good. Come back to center. Let's take a little breather in between. We're going to do the opposite direction. So remember to take it slow. We don't want to make ourselves dizzy. So here we go. Point that nose just above you. Take it back and around. Creating these large circles here. Keep it going. Good. 3 more. Last 2. Good. One more. Back and around. Taking it slow. Good, and release. Just kind of reset here for a moment. One more neck exercise. We're going to be looking over our shoulder. Okay, so we're going to just be bringing our right nose over and across over our right shoulder. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. So not too often do we stretch our neck unless you're doing yoga or intentionally doing your own stretches. The most stretch and range of motion that we get in our neck is when we're driving and we look across our shoulder to change lanes. Isn't that crazy? So let's go ahead and spend a little extra time today just giving our shoulders and our neck some love. So I'm gonna start with the right side. You could start with the right side as well. So nice and upright with the posture. Remember that string is coming at the top of your head, lifting you up towards the sky. Take an inhale, exhale, begin to bring the right shoulder over, right nose over the right shoulder. So you should feel that all along the left-hand side of the body there. Of the neck, So just taking about 10 seconds. So notice if that right shoulder's coming up. Keep it low. So you could even bring that hand on the side of the body, or maybe even behind the back, or sit on the hand if that feels best. But try not to let it come up towards the ear. Keep it dropped. Good. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Left ear over left shoulder. Feeling it all along the right hand side of the neck. Long, deep breaths. Maybe even close down your eyes. Good. A couple more breaths. Inhale, center. Exhale. I said we're going to do one more. We're actually going to do two more. So let's go ahead and bring our nose over towards our right side and angle it down towards our right shoulder, or right armpit, Okay. So you should still feel that along the opposite side, so the left hand side, just in a little bit different spot. Just keep breathing, just a couple more seconds. Maybe close down those eyes, relax. Good. And inhale, bring your nose up and back to center. Let's do the other side. So nose goes over towards the left, and then it goes down towards your armpit. Feeling that nice stretch along the right side of the body. Long, deep breaths. Close down those eyes. About 5 more seconds here. Up and back to center. Very good. So we're going to move into our spine, the mobility of the spine. We're going to move into a cat-cow. Maybe you all have seen or heard or tried that movement before. So what we're going to do is come in all fours. Hands are going to be underneath the shoulders. So just underneath the shoulders. Make sure our fingers are nice and wide here. Now we're going to bring our knees underneath our hips. So check out your knees. There should be space in between them. They shouldn't be touching. They shouldn't be mat's width. They should be about hip width. So from there, from the cat-cow, we're gonna drop our belly, point our tailbone, and our gaze is gonna go up, okay? If this causes any kind of issues for you, feel free to skip this one, or if you wanna modify, if you have a modification, feel free to do that, or just take little movements. Don't try too hard if it doesn't feel very good for you. So I'm going to demonstrate. So drop the belly, point the tailbone, lift the gaze. This is our cow pose, okay? So you should see that slight arch of the back there. Our belly should be dropped. Gaze up, pointing that tailbone. And release. Good. So that's the cow. We're going to move into the cat. It's supposed to be like an angry cat. So we're gonna push the ground away, squeeze our belly up towards our spine, rounding our back, and our chin's gonna come towards our chest. Along with that, point your tailbone, point it down towards your mat. So we're creating this upside down U shape with the body. Taking a couple breaths. And release, back to neutral spine. So we're gonna do 3 more of those. Move at your own pace and modify as much as you need to. So inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Really trying to feel into the spine. Getting some movement in that spine. Let's go last one. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Taking a couple breaths in our neutral tabletop here. Very nice. So we're going to do some stuff for the hips as well as the spine as well. And you do get into some of the shoulder blades. So go ahead and bring your hips back and around, over your heels, and forward, and back and around. So making these big hip circles, okay? It should feel pretty good for you. Shouldn't feel too strenuous here. We're just moving our hips around. You can keep your toes tucked if it feels better. Gives you more space. You could untuck those toes. Trying to really feel into the body. Feel into where your body feels this the most. For me, I feel it a lot when I go to the outsides. I feel a lot in those hips. Good. And let's reverse the direction. Back and around. Let's do 5. Hip circles as big or as small as you'd like. Whatever feels good for that body today. Let's get 3 more. Let's get 2 more. And last one. Good. Back to seated here. And you may notice that movement, you get a lot of the joints. So we got our hips, our knees were even moving, our wrists, our shoulders. So yeah, that's a really good one. Incorporate into your daily life. Okay, so we're gonna keep it going here. We have a squat. So if this doesn't feel good for you, if just doing a squat in the middle of the room or on your mat doesn't feel good, you can move yourself up against the wall. So the wall will be supporting your back. You could be leaning up against the wall just to give you that support. But I'm going to show you here on my mat so I don't have to move the camera. We're going to be doing a wide, deep squat. And if this doesn't feel good, you could also bring some support underneath your sit bones. So you could bring a pillow or a low chair or a step, something that gives you a little bit more support, maybe a couple yoga blocks. So bring your feet wider than your hips. And we're just gonna sit into this squat, just about 10 seconds. A yogic squat or a deep squat. Your hands or your elbows will be on the inside of your legs here. And it's okay if it doesn't feel too good today. Modify as much as you need to. You could even bring your hands forward, come out of the squat a little bit if you need to. Really good for the hips. Try to keep that length in the spine. Try not to round and curl here. Keep it nice and lifted. Again, you could bring some support underneath. You can be doing this up against a wall. That really helps, okay? Just a few more breaths here. Good. And gently come out of it, okay? We'll only do that once today. So we're almost finished. We're almost making it down to the last parts of our body, the last joints here. So we're gonna move into our ankle joints. And the way we're gonna do that is bring one foot forward and one knee down. So if your knees are a little bit sensitive, feel free to put some extra cushion underneath that back knee. Bring your hands interlaced over your thigh. So I'm starting with my left leg forward. You can do the same. Interlace those fingers over the thigh. And we're just gonna be doing some just little circles with that front leg. If it doesn't feel good with hands there, you could bring them down on the ground. You could also have some yoga blocks or even some books for support here, so it elevates you a little bit, so you're a little bit higher off the ground. Wherever you're at, let's just do about 10 more seconds. And then we're gonna reverse the direction. This is really good for the hip, the knee, and the ankle. And if you need a little bit of support, you can also bring something here to hold on to. Let's go ahead and switch the direction. So make some circles in the opposite direction there. Very good, everybody. We're almost done for today. Good. And gently release. Let's go ahead and switch sides. The opposite leg comes forward. And let's make those circles with that knee. Nice, long, deep breaths. And reverse the direction. We're going to come back onto our sit bones. We're going to finish off with some toe stretches. So similar to how we started with the opening and closing of the hands, we're going to do the same thing with our toes. So our toes are pretty much in shoes all day long, unless you're barefoot or wearing sandals. So they kind of get compressed. I really suggest looking into some barefoot shoes if you guys have ever heard of it. It gives you a bigger toe box on the top of your shoes, so they're not so compressed. But doing things like this, doing yoga or stretching them out, helps reverse some of that compression that they get through being in a shoe all day long. So let's try to make some space in between our toes. So like we're stretching out our fingers, let's do the same thing with our toes. You can bring your hands behind your body here just to add some support, make it a little bit more relaxed. So here we go, we're gonna do 10 repetitions. Just stretch out your toes, try to make space in between all 10 toes. And release, go ahead and squeeze those toes together. Probably feels kind of funny unless you've done this before, but really good. Let's go ahead and go again. Stretch them out, try to get space in between all 10 toes and give them a squeeze. Let's get 8 more. Open up, stretch them out, even that pinky toe, try to get it open and release. Let's go. 4. And bring them together. 5. And squeeze. 6. 7. 8. 9. And 10. Good. Gently release there. So it's important to give even our toes and our feet some love. They're always obviously walking for us every day. So remember to give them some love, even give them like a self massage. It's really important. A lot of times we have tension in our toes and our feet and we don't even know. All right, so that is it for our mobility practice today. We're going to be finishing off with just some nice deep breaths. So putting a color to your breath. You can change the color every breath. You can pick a color, you can make it a glitter, you can make it a rainbow, whatever you want to visualize. Visualizing is really important to just help bring us into this moment, bring our mind here. So with that, let's finish off with 10 long, deep visualization breaths. So don't worry about changing the tempo of the breath. Don't worry about any of that. Just bring a color to the breath, okay? So let's go ahead and close down the eyes. You can do this lying down also if you'd like. You don't have to do it seated. If you want to do it in a Shavasana pose, which is just on your back, that's a lot more relaxing. Just be careful not to fall asleep. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Eyes closed down. Pick that color that you'd like to start with. And here we go. Inhale, long, deep breath. Breathing that color into the body. Watch it fill up the nose, the lungs. Even watch it go down into the belly. And exhale. Watch that breath as it's released from the belly, the lungs, out the nose. going. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep it going. Watch that breath. Notice if the mind has wandered. Bring it back to focusing on that breath. Watching that color. Inhaling it. And exhale. We're halfway there. 5 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Almost there. Last 3 breaths. Watch that color. Exhale. Last 2. Inhale. And exhale. Last breath. Make it the biggest and the longest. Inhale. And exhale. Very good. Gently open up your eyes. And we are done for the day. Thank you all for practicing. Thank you all for being in this class. Remember to complete the review questions after watching and following along. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions. Remember not to, when we're doing our breathing exercises, remember not to get frustrated with yourself if your mind does wander. It's a practice, so it happens. Our mind wanders. It's what our human mind does. So that practice of reeling it back in and bringing it back to your breath, bringing it back to your center, that alone is great. That is the practice of mindfulness. So be proud of yourself, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in our next class on Thursday. So talk to you soon. Bye-bye.